Dead.
Anyway, it was the attack. It was just a Russian missile strike on a civilian population. Not exactly the first time they've done it, but it was a pretty big one. So for him, like his opening words here were like, "Oh, it was bad. I think it was a mistake." Which, you know, you can take from that what you want, but there's only one thing you can take from that. So take from that what I want you to take from that, basically. The transatlantic alliance is over, said a fifth EU official. The White House and the U.S. National Security Council did not immediately reply to requests for comment. Yeah? Did Vosh just say meow? Your mind is poisoned. I said, yeah. You've self-reported. Officials said the guidance for all staff traveling to the U.S. included a recommendation they should turn off phones at the border and place them in special sleeves to protect them from spying if left unattended. The advice was unsurprising, according to Luc van Middelaar, director of the Brussels Institute for Geopolitics, a think tank. Washington is not Beijing or Moscow, but it is an adversary that is prone to using extra-legal methods to further its interests and power. Damn, dude. It's crazy. It's been like 3 months, and this is already the language we're using. Ain't wrong, but like, man. Van Middelaar recalled the administration of Obama faced allegations of spying on the phone of then German Chancellor Angela Merkel back in 2013. Democrat administrations use the same tactics, he said. It is an acceptance of reality by the commission. Very centrist, very bipartisan. None of this is new. Well, there is a critical difference, right? Like the American intelligence apparatuses have always spied on our allies. They spy on us too. It's just good business. But there's a pretty big difference between like the American intelligence agencies are always on the prowl, and the United States of America is an openly antagonistic nation that will use this intelligence not just in the pursuit of its knowledge gathering, but like as an antagonistic force to the European Union. Pretty big difference there, really. I mean, nations do spy on each other, but... In March, the French government said a French researcher had been denied entry and sent back to France because he had expressed a personal opinion on U.S. research policy. Yeah, I remember that. You guys hear about the story of the Australian with a work visa who was detained and deported because he left the United States to go to a memorial for his sister, and then the officer was like asked why he did that. And the officer replied, like, Trump won, I can do what I want now. That was pretty cool. I guess you'd have to say it in an Australian accent. I thought I was just going to be given my passport and sent on my way, or maybe asked a couple of questions, but they made some pretty outlandish accusations. They said, we know you have 2 mobile phones. We've been tracking your calls. We know you've been selling drugs. He says he told the border officer he did not drink, smoke, or take drugs and own just 1 phone. He was asked for his passcode. That didn't sound right. I asked to talk to a lawyer, and they told me I had no rights. He says he was given a brochure explaining he must surrender his phone, so he handed it over along with his smartwatch. He said things, quote, seemed really weird, but he was careful to remain overly polite. He says when he asked the officer to repeat a comment he hadn't heard, the man replied, are you deaf or just retarded? I'm just going to scroll down a little bit past the, like, illegal detainment and the police abuse and so on. He said that over a series of short interviews amounting to about half an hour, the official told him his visa had been canceled and he was banned from entering the U.S. for 5 years, including as a transit passenger. He was told he would be placed on a flight to Australia and was handed a document informing him he was an immigrant not in possession of a valid unexpired immigration visa, as required by the Immigration and Nationality Act. He says he felt he had no choice but to sign the document, which Guardian Australia has seen. He says the official then told him, Trump is back in town. We're doing things the way we should have always been doing them. Jonathan says he was told he could ask to speak to the man's boss, who he was warned usually, quote, didn't have much to say. He says the boss pointed to the official and told Jonathan, quote, whatever he said. He says he was given a space blanket, meals of what tasted like dog food, and later swapped notes with other bewildered travelers, some of whom had not left the room for 2 days. Eventually, Jonathan says he was allowed a single phone call made by an officer to his father. By that stage, I'd been missing for more than 30 hours. Escorted via an armed guard to meet a flight to Australia just before boarding, he was the first passenger of the plane. He was passed an envelope containing his phone and watch. So, yeah. Well, at least he got his stuff back. Yeah, I don't know if I'd trust that phone again. Never going back to the US then? Oh, if you're outside of the United States, you should absolutely under no circumstances enter the country. Like this is like a full on, like you should treat entering the United States the same way you would consider entering Iran at this point. Like you should not be coming over here. That bad? Yes, that bad. It's pretty crazy how rapidly DHS and ICE went full mask off. Honestly, not really, right? All of those people are and always have been Hitlerites. To work with ICE or DHS, you have to be a freak, like from the start. And Obama massively expanded the DHS when he should have killed it. He should have strangled it, you know? There's literally no reason the DHS has to exist. There is no role the DHS fulfills that was not already being fulfilled. There's nothing new there. But no, he massively expanded the department. Don't forget Trump purged them all in like his first day in office. No, that's not true. There were some like officer positions from ICE and the DHS that were removed, but for the most part, the vast majority of people working at ICE are the ones who were working there a year ago. Again, you don't have to purge that much. It's already a hit-the-right position. Bosh, I'm supposed to go to Florida this summer for a conference with my school and my cooked. I mean, are you coming in from outside the United States, or are you coming in from the inside of the United States? I'm coming from Europe. Well, if you're going as part of a school group, you're probably more likely to be okay than if you were going as an individual, because there's like an auspice, right? There's like a broader sort of acknowledgement and recognition of your presence there. There are people to vouch for you. That being said, my family and I are going to Aruba for a wedding. Think we should still go? I think you should go, and I hope that when you come back, ICE does detain you and your entire family. And the reason for that is because you are audacious enough to ask me to plan your wedding trip. Why the f are you leaving that up to me? Why, you want this hanging over my head when I go to sleep at night? What if that's your last chat message? Idiot. Decide for yourself.